Assalamu alaikum, friends. Today, we're going to explore a Muslim country from where one of the greatest Muslim empires in history began. A country whose stories of bravery and courage still inspire people around the world. Yes, today we're heading to Turkey. Turkey. But what makes this country so special? Is Turkey really as beautiful as people claim? What is it like for Pakistanis living and working there? And how much can they earn? Which great companions of the Prophet have blessed resting places here? And from which city did the mighty Ottoman Empire begin its rise? Let's explore all of this and much more in today's journey through Turkey. You definitely won't want to miss what's coming next. So, let's begin our amazing journey through the beautiful country of Turkey. The country's official name is the Republic of Turkey. Turkey is a unique country because it lies on two continents, Asia and Europe. The country has a total population of around 85 million people, with approximately 75% of the population living in urban areas, while the remaining 25% live in rural areas. Talking about its borders, Turkey shares land borders with Greece, Bulgaria, Georgia, Armenia, Iraq, and Syria. On the other side, the country is surrounded by beautiful coastlines, including the Black Sea. Many people think that Istanbul is the capital of Turkey, but that's not actually true. The capital city of Turkey is Ankara. Istanbul is home to the famous Grand Bazaar, one of the oldest and largest covered markets in the world. It has more than 4,000 shops, and over 25,000 people work there. Around 99% of Turkey's population is Muslim, while small percentages follow Christianity, Judaism, and other religions. So yes, Turkey is a predominantly Muslim country. But when you visit Istanbul, you might actually feel as if you've stepped into Europe because of its architecture, lifestyle, and atmosphere. And that's what makes Turkey such a fascinating country. It beautifully connects east and west. One of the most remarkable palaces from the final era of the Ottoman Empire still stands today. Its name is Dolmabahce Palace. The grandeur of this palace offers a stunning blend of European architectural styles and Islamic art and design. Its magnificent interiors and beautiful details are truly worth seeing. As you walk through the beautiful streets of Turkey, you'll find delicious restaurants almost everywhere. And did you know that Turkish breakfast is considered one of the most famous and elaborate breakfasts in the world? Friends, did you know that Hazrat Abu Ayyub al-Ansari R.A. was one of the great companions of Prophet Muhammad? He was the respected host of the Prophet in Medina. Hazrat Abu Ayyub al-Ansari R.A. later traveled toward Constantinople to spread the message of Islam, where he passed away. His shrine is famously known as Ayyub Sultan, located in Istanbul's Ayyub district. This shrine is considered a sacred place for Muslims, and thousands of visitors come here every year. Sultan Suleiman I, one of the most powerful rulers of the Ottoman Empire, is also buried in Istanbul. His tomb is located within the courtyard of the beautiful Suleimani Mosque. Friends, you may have heard the name Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, R.A., one of the most famous Sufi poets and philosophers of the Islamic world. His mausoleum is located in Konya, which is considered a sacred destination for Sufi followers and admirers from around the world. The teachings of Maulana Rumi continue to inspire people with messages of patience, love, peace, and humanity. In addition, several members of the Ottoman dynasty are buried at various historical sites across Turkey. Sagat is a small historic town in western Turkey. This is where Ertugrul Gazi and his tribe settled, and it is believed to be the place where the foundations of the Ottoman Empire were laid. The tomb of Ertugrul Gazi is also located in Sagat. For the Turkish people, this is not just a historical site. It is an important part of their national and cultural heritage. The Ottoman rulers preserved and maintained these sacred tombs, and today they remain important destinations not only for Turkish people, but also for visitors from across the Islamic world. Every year, a special ceremony is held in memory of Ertugrul Gazi, usually in the month of September. The Turkish drama Dirilis, Ertugrul brought worldwide fame to Ertugrul Gazi, and because of its popularity, the number of visitors to his tomb has increased significantly. People come here to remember his sacrifices, struggles, and efforts. Visiting this place can be a truly historical and spiritual experience. The most important founder of the Ottoman Empire was Osman Gazi, after whom the Ottoman state was eventually named. His tomb is located in the Turkish city of Bursa, on a hill in the historic area of Tofane. Friends, it is often said that the story of Bursa, and in many ways, an important chapter of Turkish history, began from this very land. Now let's travel even further back into history. The region of modern-day Turkey was once home to the ancient Hittite civilization, one of the oldest civilizations known to have existed in this part of the world. A significant part of the ancient Hittite heartland was located in what is now central Anatolia. The Hittites were one of the great ancient civilizations of the region. Later, the area came under the control of the Greek forces of Alexander the Great, who conquered the region in the 4th century BC. After Alexander the Great died, his successors were unable to keep the vast empire united, and it gradually broke into several smaller kingdoms. Later, Armenian kingdoms also ruled parts of the region. This land continued to play an important role during the time of Jesus, peace be upon him. The Roman Empire later established its authority over large parts of Anatolia. Roman influence also extended across regions, including Syria and the Levant. Then, in AD 313, Roman Emperor Constantine the Great officially recognized Christianity, and Christianity eventually gained the status of the empire's official religion. Constantine the Great is also remembered as the founder of Constantinople, the city that would later become one of the most important cities in world history. The city was initially known as Byzantium, later became known as Constantinople, and is today called Istanbul. Turkey has approximately 90,000 mosques spread across the country. You can find beautiful mosques in almost every city, town, and region. The Turkish flag is red, with a white crescent moon and star in the center. Turkish people are also very active on social media. Because of this, Turkey has become one of the countries with a very large number of Facebook users worldwide. After the decline of the Roman and Byzantine empires, the Ottoman Empire eventually emerged and became one of the most powerful Muslim empires in history. The Ottoman state began to rise at the end of the 13th century, and generations of Muslims made enormous sacrifices in building and expanding the empire. The Ottoman Empire lasted for more than 6 centuries. During the 16th and 17th centuries, the Ottoman Empire reached the height of its power and became one of the largest and most influential empires in the world. However, after centuries of power, the empire eventually came to an end following the events of World War I. The Treaty of Sèvres, signed in 1920, was one of the major agreements that attempted to divide the former Ottoman territories and place severe restrictions on the Turkish state. One of the major reasons behind the treaty was the Ottoman Empire's alliance with Germany during World War I. The treaty was signed on August 10, 1920, between the Allied powers and the Ottoman government. According to the agreement, the Ottoman Empire would lose much of its territory, and extensive restrictions would be placed on the emerging Turkish state. The treaty also included provisions affecting Turkey's control over its own territory and strategic waterways. One particularly important issue involved the straits, the waterways connecting the Black Sea with the Mediterranean. The agreement sought to place international controls over these strategic passages, meaning ships from different countries could pass through without Turkey having complete control over them. However, the Treaty of Sèvres was never fully implemented and was eventually replaced by the Treaty of Lausanne in 1923, which established the international framework for modern Turkey. Now, let's talk about the time difference. Depending on the season and daylight saving rules, Turkey is generally 2 hours behind Pakistan. Today, under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's leadership, Turkey has pursued policies aimed at strengthening its economy, infrastructure, tourism, and international influence. Because of its rich history, stunning landscapes, Islamic heritage, and unique position between Europe and Asia, millions of people from around the world dream of visiting Turkey every year. According to reports from 2023, Turkey welcomed approximately 50 million international tourists, which was a major milestone for the country's tourism industry. Tourism is considered one of the most important sectors of Turkey's economy. These huge visitor numbers show the popularity of Turkey's tourist destinations, historical sites, cultural heritage, and natural beauty. Most tourists visit famous destinations such as Istanbul, Anatolia, and Cappadocia, while the beautiful coastal regions along the Mediterranean and Aegean Seas also attract millions of visitors every year. Turkey is filled with fascinating attractions, including historic mosques, ancient cities, stunning beaches, and breathtaking natural landscapes. All of these places play an important role in strengthening the country's tourism industry. On October 29, 1923, Turkey was officially declared a republic, and October 29th is celebrated every year as Republic Day, Turkey's national day. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk was the founder of modern Turkey. He led the Turkish national movement and played a major role in establishing the modern Turkish Republic after the Allied occupation. Because of his enormous contribution to the country, Mustafa Kemal is widely known as the father of the Turks. The capital of Turkey is Ankara, which has a population of several million people and is the second largest city in the country after Istanbul. Turkey is also considered one of the top countries in the world for cultural heritage, with countless historical monuments and archaeological sites. Wherever you travel across Turkey, you're likely to come across something interesting to see. And when it comes to Turkish television dramas, there's no doubt that they have played a major role in making Turkey famous around the world. Turkish dramas have become some of the most widely watched television series internationally, attracting huge audiences across the Middle East, Asia, Europe, and other regions. One of Turkey's most famous landmarks is Hagia Sophia, a historic monument that served as a Christian cathedral for centuries before later being converted into a mosque. Hagia Sophia remained a place of Christian worship for around 1,100 years before its history entered a new chapter. Today, it is one of Istanbul's most visited and iconic landmarks, attracting huge numbers of visitors every year. The official language of Turkey is Turkish. In terms of geographical area, Turkey is one of the larger countries in the world, stretching across both Europe and Asia. Turkish society is diverse, with different political, cultural, and social perspectives represented across the country. And finally, tourism generates billions of dollars in annual revenue for Turkey, making it one of the most important sources of foreign income for the country. And if we talk about Cappadocia, one of Turkey's most fascinating destinations, it looks almost like another world. The region is famous for its incredible rock valleys, unusual rock formations, and breathtaking landscapes. These unique formations were created over thousands of years through volcanic activity and natural erosion. Cappadocia attracts huge numbers of visitors every year, and its hot air balloons are especially famous. From a hot air balloon, you can enjoy a spectacular view of the entire region from above. It is one of the few places in the world where, early in the morning, hundreds of hot air balloons can rise into the sky at the same time, creating an unforgettable sight. A hot air balloon ride can cost around €200, depending on the season and package. Cappadocia is also famous for its handmade carpets, traditional crafts, souvenirs, and other local products, which visitors love to take home. If you ever visit Turkey, there are several places you absolutely should not miss. Start with Hagia Sophia, followed by the magnificent Blue Mosque, the Galata Tower, and Istanbul's legendary Grand Bazaar, one of the most famous historic markets in the world. You can also visit Taksim Square, as well as Topkapi Palace, the former royal palace of the Ottoman sultans, which now houses an impressive museum. Istanbul is also famous for its vibrant nightlife and delicious food, making it one of the most exciting cities in Turkey. For many international visitors, Istanbul is the first destination they explore when they arrive in Turkey. Cruises are another popular attraction in Istanbul. By taking a cruise along the Bosphorus, you can enjoy stunning views of the city skyline while seeing the unique point where Europe and Asia meet. When it comes to Turkish cuisine, there are many delicious dishes worth trying, including lamb kebab, Turkish bread, Turkish meatballs, and chicken with rice. Now let's talk about Pamukkale, whose name means cotton castle in Turkish. Pamukkale looks like something straight out of a fantasy world. Its famous white terraces, which you can see from a distance, were naturally formed by mineral-rich thermal waters flowing down the hillside. These snow-white terraces are filled with hot springs, and visitors can enjoy bathing in the naturally warm mineral-rich waters. And if we talk about Antalya, it is another beautiful city located along Turkey's Mediterranean coast. Antalya is famous for its stunning beaches, warm climate, ancient history, and rich cultural heritage, making it one of Turkey's most popular tourist destinations.